Thanks for joining me. I'm aLex Levin. Good morning if you're here with me, and at the same time we're actually streaming. Hello and welcome whenever you're joining. This is a weekly event sponsored by Sun and Moon Yoga Studio. Please do check out our website and our community that is both actual and virtual and very long-lived. sunandmoonstudio.com. Workshops, classes, and a real variety of types of yoga, movement, self-care, meditation, and a variety of teachers with different voices. And what's really nice is when you first meet us, you can get a pass to try different teachers, different classes. And we've got quite a library on YouTube itself, starting in March of 2020 with the pandemic. So check it out. Again, thanks for being here. I'm thinking this morning of pattern interruption. I'm in a different spot. I'm in Florida with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and visiting mother-in-law today soon. So we haven't seen this part of the family in almost a year. So let's arrive wherever you are. Arrive. This short practice will be a little bit of me talking, and I would suggest as you're arriving, a really great position to just listen for a little while before we get to the micro movement and meditation is just to lie down on your back, like corpse pose in yoga. Hopefully you've set aside this time, turned off any alarms, devices, phones, carved out this place for yourself to tune in, turn in, to just find presence. Make sure your space is comfortable. So I've got a cushion underneath my wonky knee. Temperature is comfortable. I've got a shawl in case it gets a bit cool. Provide what you can anticipate you might need. There will always be the unknown, but we can do our best. And it serves us to be prepared, the scout-like motto, as best we can. And so fully arrive by sensing the ground underneath you, especially if you're lying on your back. I did that a couple hours ago, even as I had just gotten out of bed, but it's very different to lie on the flat, a harder surface than a bed, on your back, and let the ground receive the whole body, the weight of the head, the shoulders. And if you're choosing to be sitting, you can do the same thing. It's just the ground is underneath your derriere and under your feet or legs. So we're just noticing, we're turning our attention, choosing to turn our attention to this force field that we live in, this gravitational pull, this hug of Mother Earth. And if you're sitting, I invite you to not work too hard at sitting in any particular idea of how the posture should be, how your seated posture should be. And that's a huge bit right there. So as I was noticing this effort of rolling my pelvis forward, that was a little straining. So if we watch for where the strain is, and the benefit of lying on the ground, your whole body, your whole back body, that there's almost no effort needed. You might find that the low back is is in some discomfort, and so you might bend your knees. And so just little shifts that happen almost with no effort, or perhaps as you notice too much effort. And what is too much effort? For this part, any need to push or pull. And so even if you're in the sitting position, there is some background noise perhaps. I'm finding myself just giving in to a rounding of the spine, a little bow of my shoulders and head. And listen for the letting go. And notice how you might be shifting your sense of yourself. Your mind state may be shifting, your feel of your body, your emotional tone. And if distractions are happening, whether in your space or from my space, can you just come back, even if it lingers out there? And tune into breathing, your breathing, the breath breathing you. Tune in especially now to your belly. Even put a hand on the deep low belly, below the navel, just above the pubic bone. If you're sitting, the other hand at your sacrum. And again, not too much concern about posture, but more of an ease with gravity. And notice and watch that as frequently we, as yoga practitioners, have seen and felt on the inhales, you note the inhales seem to come down into the body, and it seems that the belly expands if you do nothing and just allow for the wave of breath. And when you breathe out, it might feel like the breath is coming up and out, back through the nostrils or mouth, and the belly pulls in a little bit, deflates. And now I'm going to invite something really, could be drastically different, especially for those of us schooled in the yoga teachings that I've been exposed to over the last few decades. So as you breathe in, noticing the belly expand, and you can let your hands stay or release them. And then after the in-breath, just notice a pause or allow a little pause. Draw the belly in a little and then just relax and breathe out. Breathe in, let the belly expand as it will, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Pause a moment and just pull the belly in a little, just under about 2 inches below the navel, just pulling in slightly. Exhale and relax and let the belly stay full. And then same thing, inhale freely, belly expands a little, and the pause then, and a slight drawing in, and then relax that and just imagine the belly softening and a downward movement of maybe the diaphragm or some musculature and organs, even though the breath is coming up. And so just do this a few times. You breathe in, belly fills, pause and let the belly pull in a little bit. And then when you breathe out, let the belly somehow stay full, the lower belly. And that's probably enough. Just let it all go now. You may have found this easy. You may have found it extremely challenging, like a brain, the nervous system just locked, like, how? My body's not doing that. And just for now, just let all that go, acknowledging if there was frustration or challenge or curiosity or intrigue. And you might, if you're in a reclining position, just gently transition to come up to sitting, or you can do the meditation piece where you are. And let's just segue to the stillness portion of this program for probably about 5 minutes. So if you've just transitioned, and in a sense we're always in transition, but from reclining to sitting, take your time to arrive here. And those of us who have been sitting, just be with what is new, attention, gentle, open. Again, in my background, I hear voices and conversation. Distractions, and we can notice how we respond to them. Do we get agitated? Do we make a judgment? Is there an emotion of frustration, anger? Or how easy is it to let it go? Or do we tenaciously hold on? As if always taking one step back to see the more of what is here. Not denying or pushing away, but if we push away, then stepping back and seeing, can we see that from a little more distance? Just coming back to the center and the deep belly, to the breath, to just being here now. Choosing to be still and silent. To give this tending to ourselves. Again and again, just coming back. There's no penalty, no punishment needed. The presence always here for us. is us. We become more and more, to say adept, but it's not quite that. We remember more and more what it's like to simply be receptive, to be in this neutral but potent space by simply visiting here more and more often. As you sit for just another couple minutes, I'd like to, as I often do, share a poem. This one a friend sent me a few weeks ago. I find there are elements of, well, I'll let you experience it. I'm really liking this poem, obviously, but since I choose to share it, it's curious. It's by Kaveh Akbar. Stop me if you've heard this one before. I can't even remember my name. I, who remember so much, football scores, magic tricks, deep love so close to God, it was practically religious. When you fall asleep in that sort of love, you wake up with bruises on your neck. I don't have drunks, sir. I have adventures. Every day. My body follows me around asking for things. I try to think louder, try to be brilliant, wildly brilliant, and naked, though I can never be naked enough. We all want the same thing: to walk in sincere wonder, like the first man to hear a parrot speak on an enormous flatness, but we live floating between two oceans. Sometimes you have to leave whatever's real to you. You have to clomp through fields and kick the caps off all the toadstools. Sometimes you have to march all the way to Galilee, or the literal foot of God Himself, before you realize you've already passed the place where you were supposed to die. I can no longer remember the being afraid, only that it came to an end. Sometimes we're so steeped in our habitual patterns that we don't notice that things could be different, or they will be different. They always will be, and yet there's certain openness and sometimes a certain energy that needs to be brought to make that change, to kick the caps off toadstools. Take a deep breath. We're moving toward the transition of the end of this practice. Let's bring our palms together in front of our hearts. Feel what this gesture that has been used by so many for eons. What does it feel like? What is the meaning of it that you know inside you? And as you bow your head towards your hands, towards your heart, if there's a prayer or a hope or a wish or an affirmation that comes to you, maybe that's guides you, an offering. I thank you for joining me at this different location. So glad you're here. So nourishing for me to be with you in this way. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.